up, everybody? Just making sure all this works. Haven't been live in ages, so why not do one now? Hopefully this microphone, everything's working, so let's get into it. Alright, so this is the ETH chart. There's lots of lines on here, actually. I might turn a few off. That one and that one makes it a bit clearer. So overall, for me, like ETH is still in a downtrend from here. You could argue that from a macro point of view, we're still bullish, but the fact that we've broken trend here doesn't sit well with me at all. And as other people have pointed out on Twitter, I mean, this whole monthly chart is just doesn't look that great. Let's go to another one that doesn't have all the lines on it. There we go. Get rid of that. All right, so this is the Bitstamp chart. It has a bit more history on it. I mean, just looking at this, just from an ETH point of view, let's say 1500. I mean, this is the top of the last bull run. This is going to end like this. I mean, like if you saw this normally, you wouldn't be buying here. It doesn't look that great. There might be some. I mean, there's obviously support in here because of these wicks and stuff. But just from an overall point of view, this isn't great. And it's still not great here either. I mean, I'm cautious. I'm bullish. Like I'm cautious, right? Because you've got this support here. So I mean, it really depends on how far you wanna zoom out, right? Just basic support resistance type stuff. I mean, you can look at your wick off and all that other stuff, but just trying to keep it nice and simple. The monthly chart doesn't look great. The monthly chart looks like it wants to me, looks like it wants to come back down to here and then shoot off. That's what it looks like to me. But who knows, right? Because this is still a good level. The daily, though, I'll go back to my other chart that has the trend line already in there. So here's the trend, and I was still happy with Ethereum until it broke here. So it was still making higher lows until here, but then it just created. So now it's a break and retest type play. So here, it does stuff like that, and it could go down to 1500 if I remember. Oh. So here is roughly where. Now see, this chart doesn't go back far enough. Yeah, so it's at 1423 is the last high, right? So that's roughly around here where this resistance support type thing is. So this is the previous all-time high area. Bears are going to look to short here. Turn on the profits indicator for me. So we've got order blocks and all that sort of stuff, and we've also got the rejection of this trend line here. So for me, this isn't bullish at all. If we start moving up towards here, yeah, sure, we start getting back onto the top of this trend line, and then everything's everything's a lot better, right? So for me, Ethereum, wait and see. There might be stuff on the on the lower time frames if you're an intraday trader. So maybe if price comes back down to here, you might get a bounce back up, but you know, we're not there yet. We're in this order block here. So is there anything on the 1 hour? It's kind of the same. So it's where we are with that as I see it. Bitcoin's a little bit different. Easy to see it. So here's that trend line that I've had in for ages, since I probably started drawing it in here. So maybe since the start of June. You know, we could get something like this. I mean, if maybe, right? If Bitcoin starts to take off, it's going to, you would hope that it dragged the rest of the market with it. The FBTC chart, though, that doesn't look great. Like if, see, it's, you've broken support and now we're testing it again as resistance. So this is another break and retest type trade. And you've got this high test candle here on the daily where it's like tried to break through and then got rejected. So not awesome in terms of FBTC. You could argue for the support being lower here. So we're still stuck in this trap. So like price needs to come out, bounce and take off. So it's similar to the ETH dollar chart. It needs to get above this trend. Otherwise it's just gonna go crab sideways or maybe even down to previous all-time highs. So Bitcoin's done well in trying to defend, you know, there's lots of support here obviously. So lots of wicks here and here. Intraday wise, there's hope, but you know, you can't trade on hope. It looks good. It looks better, obviously. Being above this trend line makes me happy, but we want to really want to get above here. But if you're a day trader, there's a good opportunity to look for, say, buys around here, and then you want to take profit on your scalp, you know, around this order block or this order block. Because if we make it back up to like the 40k range, you know, short-term dudes are going to take profit. You know, sell off. It's happened 4 times in the past. So this, you know, this could just like range for a while. I'm not a Wyckoff expert or anything, but we've seen all those Wyckoff charts being shared around, and this seems to be following it. So it could get to here. Even if it is a legit Wyckoff pattern, you want to trade the levels anyway. So I mean, buy here, sell here, and if it breaks through, you'll get another you'll get a retest. So you can just enter in again and keep going. So it's really not an issue. I think like one of the biggest like mind fucks is that if you buy a coin then sell it, sometimes you tell yourself, well, I sold it so I can't buy again. It's like this mental block, but you don't have to, right? You need, there's this whole investor mindset and trader mindset, and if you're doing both things at the same time, you can confuse yourself. So, you know, try not to do that. Just trade the chart. There's resistance here, so and there's, you know, minor resistance in here too. So taking profit on along from here to here in this area, that would be the way to go. That's like the highest probability trade. Like if you buy here and you're hoping for it to get up here, it's, you know, the chances of it doing that, going straight through here, not as high as it was when everything was, you know, super bullish back in February. Like the market sentiment was way different. I think this was the Elon candle, actually, this one. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at it from Bitcoin's point of view. Solana, I want to point out, I've posted about this before, but I want to do a quick review on it because this is probably as you can see, like with Solana, like it hasn't lost this trend. So there's like higher lows consistently since February, January, like since the start of the year when everything exploded. It hasn't lost this trend. And when you look at it versus Ethereum, it's the same story. So it's holding its own against Ethereum, and it's out, well, instead, except for this point here where it's come back, but it's continually making higher lows, prices slowly grinding up and up and up and up. So my hunch will be is that if and when we get the next bullish impulse and the market starts to recover and go up, that I think that Solana is probably going to outpace Ethereum just by looking at this chart as it is now. This is like an ascending triangle type thing, but until we cross this pink line, then no. I mean, right now it's heading back down. It might even head back down to the trend into here, but every time it falls, it just recovers so hard. What's this one? It's 37% in between here and here. If we go back to the dollar chart, when that dump happened, the first dump, like it recovered 128%, and then the next one it recovered like 66%. So I mean, every time Solana dumps, it just recovers so hard. It's one of the strongest alts. So even if you don't believe in the tech or anything, you can just trade it, right? Like if you think that Ethereum is going to be the DeFi chain and all that sort of stuff, and you don't think Solana's gonna work, that's fine. The chart is saying, from a speculator's point of view, it's saying different, right? So it's just grinding its way up. If Solana starts losing price down here, then yeah, different story, but it's not at the moment. So we want to make sure that it comes up and over, then bounces. If it falls to here and bounces again, that's still okay. So yeah, all good with that. Let's look at FTT, which is the FTX token. It's bearish, right? It's hitting here. The only reason I mention it is because Sam is just getting sponsorships with everything, right? So they've got a MLB sponsorship now. They've got the sponsorship with the Miami Stadium. And then today you've got Tom Brady and Giselle have bought into FTX, and they're going to do sponsorship stuff with them. So those guys have got an equity stake. The marketing machine for FTX is just going full ball in the US. Lots and lots of people are going to know about FTX sooner rather than later, especially with Tom Brady and all the sports stuff, right? So keep it on your radar. I mean, buying it now is a bit silly because we're at resistance, but keep it on your watch list just to see if it recovers and then does that. So you want to buy in here, like scale in even. Don't. What else? That's really all I had. Like here's the alt perp. I mean, everything's the same. See that alt, and that's the FTX chart. It looks the same. This is the mid perp chart. Looks the same. This is the shit perp chart. It looks the same. Like everything is basically the same. This is what I'm talking about when I say the market is correlated. It's just printing the same things. It doesn't really matter what you buy. They're all printing the same. It's all printing the same stuff. You can have your favorite project, sure, but just the entire market is following each other. So keep that in mind. It's one thing to buy strong projects, but if everything's moving together, does it really matter? Well, yes and no. Like, you want to make sure you're still buying decent projects. Like if you've got something that's just launched and run by new people or you don't know them versus say something like Aave or Sushi that's got known teams and they've been delivering for ages, then you know those markets have fatter books, more liquidity, more trading, more volume. So unless you like trading Uniswap gems, like if you're good at that pump and up stuff, then go for it. But just be aware that it's Cake. So even Cake looks the same. BNB chart looks the same. Like everything's the same, right? Cake and BNB are pretty much a bloody mirror image of each other, so it doesn't really matter which one you buy. What's Matic doing? Matic's a little bit different, but it's still kind of similar. I mean, with the break and read, like everything's at resistance right now in alt land. That green line just represents the end of the month. I might get rid of that. You don't want to buy resistance. You got better probabilities of selling at resistance and buying support. So anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully that was useful for some of you. Just a quick video. Talk to you guys later.